We can start. Today we deal with MS31 block 5. See, I will show you the book so that those who do not have book can see it. Yes, today we deal with the MS31 book 5, which deals with 5 units. Skills and techniques of social group work. Uh, these 5 units are, I will tell you about these 5 units. Skills and techniques of social group work. And unit 2, relevance of life skills, education, social group work. Program planning in social group work. Group work in institutional role settings. Role of social worker in group work. These are the 5 units. And group work. What is group work? Without group work, there is no social work at all. Because everywhere, so if a problem is to be solved, the help of social worker is very much necessary. Hence, he or she, social worker, needs some techniques and skills. What are they? That is a very good relationship, has to be maintained by the client or the person having the issue and the social worker. Otherwise, the aim or the goal cannot be fulfilled. Hence, some skills and techniques are very much necessary, without which they won't get the result. That is, the aim is to solve an issue. Okay. The skill establishing purposeful relations. Skill in establishing purposeful relationships means deliberately, intentionally, and purposefully, a social worker has to maintain a relationship. Otherwise, they won't get the aim fulfilled. The group worker must be skillful in helping individuals in group to accept one another and to join with the group in common pursuits. Common pursuits. Then skill in analyzing the group situation. So he or she, the social worker, has to analyze the group situation, judging and the level of group to determine what level is and what group needs. That is, she or he must understand the needs. For that, the group has to be analyzed in a very well manner. Then skill in participating with the group. ഞാൻ ഇത് ക്ലാസ്സിലാണ് കേട്ടില്ല അയ്യോ ഞാനിപ്പോ 4 മുതൽ 6 വരെ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് ക്ലാസ്സിലാണ് പറഞ്ഞൂടാ അപ്പൊ വന്നാലും എനിക്ക് അനങ്ങാൻ പറ്റില്ല. So skill in dealing with the group feeling. That is, the group worker must be skillful in controlling his own feelings about the group. Also, he must be skillful in helping the groups to analyze the situation as a part of working through group. That is, the group has to analyze the situation. Hence, the need of the social work is very much necessary in that. So, the social worker has a skill for that. Otherwise, they won't get succeed. Or the aim or the goal cannot be achieved. The skill in program development. Developing programs, he must have a skill in guiding group thinking that interests and needs will be revealed and understood. That is, he has to understand their needs and prepare or develop programs. And he must have a skill in that. Then skill in using agency and community resources. So there may be the need of no community resources or agency help. At that time, he has to locate and then get acquaintance with the group in various helpful resources. In social work, we all know very well this agency help and community resources are very much necessary. Otherwise, what will happen? To mobilize things will not be easy. Then skill in evaluation, that is the seventh skill. Uh, that is, the worker must have a skill in recording the development process and everything that are going as his works with the group. Hence, he must record everything. Then skills in building cohesiveness. Group cohesiveness. That means effective groups must be there, and he or she must know the strength, the capacity, fears, problems, and roles that can play in the group progress. An effective rapport or effective relationship must be there. Then there must be a good working relationship also. Also, he must be very cool in solving situations and capacity to get the group willingly shoulder responsibilities than taking up the burden on himself. That is the group. He must equip the groups to take the responsibility also. Then facilitation skills. Facilitating skill, sometimes called here and now, and group interaction, is often missed by the group. That is, for interaction, he has to facilitate everything, and he must have a special skill in that also. Then skills for information collection and evaluation. Skills of there's a lot of information is necessary in the case of social workers, as well as data collection, information collection, then evaluation. All these things, that social worker must have a skill. Also, requesting information, questioning, and probing. There may be issues of probing. Probing means to investigate. He has to understand things. So for that, he has to probe into the issues. Means and he has to understand the real issues. So he has to probe. Means inquire the situation. Then he must question members. All this. Uh, so he must have a skill in probing the group worker. Okay. Then analyzing. all this skill data collected and everything. Then synthesizing skills. So the skills and techniques are often this is a very important essay because you know without which social work will not be getting progressed. So unless and until a social worker has all these techniques and skills, he will not be able to proceed in his job. So hence, this can be asked for an essay. Okay. Then he has to collect all these and synthesize. Synthesize means making connections among meanings behind numbers, actions, and making implicit feelings of other thoughts. Uh, he has to get the feedback also, feedback giving time. Then listening. A good listener alone will succeed as a social worker. So each and every person, if she or he wants to win in any matter, any issue, not only for a social worker, he must be a good listener. Otherwise, they won't succeed in their life. That is a common rule. And it is applicable in the case of social workers also. That is a good listener. So there is a saying, a very good leader, a very good leader is a very good listener. That's a saying. Then reframing and redefining. Just to redefine and reframe the problems. Uh, Whether they can help members, he has to examine the problem and in his own from in a new perspective, in a new view. Then action skills. Action skills means uh, these are all not only in papers. There needs some action. There needs some action. So otherwise, if it is only in papers, they won't succeed. He has a role to play. Modeling refers to a worker or a member demonstrating behaviors in particular situation. That is action skills. Then confrontation. There may be resistance, there may be issues, and he must have a skill in confronting everything. That is, examine challenge and challenge behaviors, help members overcome distortions. Confronting means face. That's all. Uh, However, one has to be vigilantly judge the state of affairs and about acceptability of his interventions. Hence, a confrontation skill is very much needed. Skills of conflict resolution, that is most important. There may be some conflicts, and it is a social worker has to face a lot of conflicts in his work. So he must have a skill in solving the conflict resolution. Conflict resolution, skills of conflict resolution. That means he has to solve the issues or he has to make the conflicts easily settled. Then critiquing skills. Critique. Constructive criticism is very much necessary, and hence constructive criticism will be there always. And he has a skill in constructive criticism. He must have. Apart from all that, leadership skills. He must be a very good leader. Social worker must be a very good leader, otherwise he won't succeed in communicating, in understanding, in decision making, and in listening and everything. Conflict solved, consensus seeking, gatekeeping, setting standards, everything. You must be a very good leader. Now the first unit is how to acquire group skills. That is another issue. How to acquire group work skills. That is what we did in this chapter. So this first unit is over. Then second unit. Second unit, relevance of life skill education. Life skills education. Relevance of life skills education in social group work. In social group work. Understanding life skills education program, the Indian scenario, need for life skills education techniques, and social group work and education. Relevance of skills, life skills education, social group. These are all the points discussed. What is life skill? Means the ability that is the individuals must be equipped to face life, whatever issues come, to face challenges, opportunities, and successfully. That is life skill. Uh, Health education, health family education, all these things. What are they? Life skills are problem solving always. Life skills are problem solving. A large group of sociological and interpersonal skills which can help people make informed decisions, communicate effectively, and develop and self-management skills that may help them lead healthy, productive life. That is life skill. So it will be life skill education groups. Life education program is group participants lead a trained group worker, and the trainer will be teaching them cultivate aptitude to draw from an issue, then face all the problems of daily life with self-confidence, and to know, to adjust, learn to adjust everything. And group workers' role in life skills education. Periodically self-introspection. He has to verify himself, judge himself, and think productively. There may be so many issues and challenges and problems, struggles. He has to understand. Now, life skills and education program. Life skills and education program. That is creative thinking. So critical thinking is the ability to analyze information and experience in an objective manner. That is critical thinking. Objective. You know the word objective, not subjective. Objective manner means he has to understand the problems in its merit, and he should not take it in a single way, but it is an objective matter. Objective and subjective are two terms. Subjective means thinking himself alone. Objective means common issues. That's objective. And critical thinking, critical thinking uh, helps look beyond our direct experience. That will help in solving problems. or problem solving. Problem solving. Then decision making, which I have told you. Decision making is a process of making assessment of an issue by considering all possible available options. The right decision, correct decision must be taken. Then that is problem solving. Then interpersonal relationship. Relationships are very much necessary in the social worker field, social working field, because social work field needs so many interactions. For that, interpersonal relationship is very much necessary. Also, effective communication. These are all life skills, interpersonal skills, effective communication, coping with emotions, coping with the stress management. These are all life skills. He has to manage stress also. Then self-awareness. We have to we have a recognition of ourselves. Our recognition of ourselves. Apart from all that, empathy. To imagine what life is like for another person, even in a situation that we may not be familiar with. That is to accept others, their behavior, to understand them. That is empathy. The self-awareness, self-esteem, accepting others. That is empathy, kind of feeling and all that. And now we pass on to Indian scenario. The Indian scenario. That is heterogeneity of the levels of child caregivers, ranging from school teachers to grassroots level NGO workers. The need of training are varied. That is, grassroots level NGO workers uh, need training, and they are varied. India is a diverse unity in diversity country. That is diverse country. There will be always transition and globalization, communication and media. So in India, people are below the age of 16, most of them. Adolescents form about 10% to 15%. That is the what the statements or the data collection says that 15% of the world, in absolute numbers, the Indian youth are significant population of the world's youth population. That is a reality. Need for life skills and education. Life skills we have seen. What's the need of it? It's for physical growth, development of mental faculties. These are all to be fulfilled. For any human being, these two vital aspects are necessary. So, life skills calls for comprehending and equipping oneself in different spheres of personality. Social skills, interpersonal. We have seen that, we have lived it. We have learned it. That is life skills. Emotional stability, scholarly abilities, empathy. These are all life skills. Then techniques of learning life skills education. Why this? because life skills are applied in various aspects of life, to various aspects of life. Interpersonal relation, understanding one's rights and promoting good health, mental health, prevention of HIV, AIDS, etc., the prevention of substance abuse, then self-development, preventing suicide, and promoting peace. These are all the aim of life skill. That is applied in all these fields. Life skills are applied. There are various techniques, rigorous training. In the case of techniques used by trainers, vigorous training, functioning in small groups, brainstorming, play acting, empirical education, games and deliberations, and homework. These are all techniques used by trainers. The ultimate aim of life skill is the members must develop their aptitude in exploring alternatives and face the challenges. So whenever they have to face challenges, issues, problems, these life skills must help them. It also provides environmental education, consumer education, education, social cultural issues, and so on. Then social group work. So the social group work and education. Because for goal accomplishment, group, the need of groups are very much necessary. Social group work had its origins in progressive, informal, and adult education. That is, group workers work with children, women, disabled, substance abuses. These are all the people social workers face. Hence, they need all these skills. There are some assumptions on which practice of social group work is universal, then can be used to affect changes in attitudes. Group provides experiences. So there are some, you know, qualities, that is assumptions. Then groups as instrument of helping others, maybe economical in use of scarce resources. These are all those assumptions. Then relevance of life skills education, social group. In social group work, life skills education is most important. We have seen that because what is the need of social work, social group work? So the society may face so many issues, so many problems, so many challenges. And the aim of the social working group is to eliminate, solve those problems, issues, challenges uh, faced by the society or people, a group, and so on. Group work is a method of leadership, group leadership, organizing, conducting various types of group activities. That is what the what group work is defined here. Life skill education is thus an important aspect of group work because I told you the need of social worker or the challenges of social workers are they have to interact with the people, communicate with the people, communicate with the group, and they have to build a relationship for what is solving an issue which is there in the society in a particular area or in a community, and so on. So the subject of learning, the course of topic important are two reasons. Two reasons. One values as a vehicle and around interpersonal learning. What are then Konapka has given the following ingredients and you may read it 8 ingredients to this. Thus, allowance of life skill, training, or group social work is understood or finished. Now we pass on to Unit 3. Unit 3. Block. Right. So, program planning. Program planning in social group work. Program planning. So, what are program planning? Concept of program planning, principles of program planning, factors influencing program planning, a recording in social group work, principles of recording in social group work, types of recording in social group work, and contents in a group work record. These are all the points discussed in the third unit, block 5. So, planning is necessary for each and every problem solving. Without planning, even we can't move. As human beings, without planning, nobody can. Simple example. If you want to go for a wedding or for anything to a particular place, you have to plan that and you have to arrange things as per your planning. Without which you may not succeed. Hence, planning is a must in day to day, then short term, long term, and everything. Every uh, policies of human beings. Without which they won't succeed. For example, I told it not only for going someplace. Even if you want to study simple as your students, I can say, if you want to study, there must be a plan. The student who studies without a proper planning will not be getting the good results. So that planning, in that planning, you must prepare everything. Otherwise, uh, they won't succeed. So, the social group worker must have abilities for what? Control. And, to guide members. To guide members. So, effective program planning processes are necessary. It includes effective goals, then setting goals, brainstorming with members, planning the program in the correct way to achieve the goal, obtaining approval of the group, then assigning individual subgroup responsibilities. That is real planning. That is each group, subgroup must understand their role, what they have to do. So implementation of the program, then periodic evaluation and feedback and follow up. That is planning. So the concept of program planning. Uh, Program as a concept and working tool is not prominent in the group work literature. The first two are philosophical as well as technical. Some basic considerations affect the decisions about programs. One is structure and spontaneity. So there may be a prearranged structure and spontaneous development. These, there should be a balance between these two. Otherwise, it won't succeed. So some groups are so pre-planned and they'll be rigid. As in the social work group, there should not be any rigidity. So they must be flexible. So, so structure and spontaneity must be there. Also, person and task. Person and task means every group is concerned with the members as people. So group means people, a small or large number of people. And there may be issues and problems. Whether the task is located at the individual. They has to understand group community level is a device program emphasizing procedures. Hence, person and task they must understand. Sensitive balance between person and task. Then individual factor. What the ability of individual factors. Then group factors. Individual factors means what the members are capable of. Individual factors. And this varies according to age, verbal ability, motivation, self-control. That is, it depends on these variables. And also, in groups with the wide ability range, program needs to include activities adaptable to individual differences. Because in a group, there are people, and those people must have a different different nature. They may be having different nature, and so those group must get adaptable Otherwise, there will be differences, individual differences, and it will uh, not be easy. So, group factors, that is individual factors. Group, I have told you of variable factors are there. Then, morale, vision, conflict, and level of commitment are so many, etc., etc. Level of commitment, etc., etc. Because in a group, we cannot expect all the people having all abilities and so on. Hence, they should understand the group factor, and this must be important. The individual and the group. Individual and the group. That means program should be consistent with what has been agreed with the individuals and the group, the initial one. That is what consider with what he has been agreed with individuals and the group, the initial contract. So although the group develops needs and interests change. So when they come for the first time or in a small group, they may have some decisions, and later on it may change. Once it starts, there may be change. Yes. Now that is individual and the group. Now we pass on to principles of program planning. Principles of program planning. So when a program is planned, there are certain principles to be followed by social work, group work. Which are they? So the group members must understand their responsibilities and they should accept it. Then resources will be there. They must utilize the resource for optimum utilization. Optimum utilization. Then there must be better coordination between group members, agency worker to attain to achieve these objectives. So in the case of social work, the group must be very effective. It should not be there only in the name of groups, but group must be active, effective, and so on. Also, the group must understand the interests of the people. So, with this, we finish the third unit. Then, factors influencing program planning. So, whenever this program is they are about to plan this program, there may be some influencing factors. Which are they? So, and those points are so there's a vast distinction between wants of the group members and their welfare. Wants will be very high. Hmm? When the program planning session is will come out. So worker consistently taps and wants welfare of the group. The ultimate aim is the welfare of the group. So He must consistently tap the wants and welfare of the groups from its members. That is possible only from its members, that is group members. Yeah. So it is in the stage the worker has to understand also very and also convey to the group. That is group members. That program planning is an ongoing process. So they must understand the group's progress. So the group has to have systems that is for decision making, then delegation of responsibilities and accountability. Delegation of accountability. Delegation, delegation means giving, that is dividing the work and engaging each one to do a particular work. That is delegation of work. Here, responsibility. Develop wholehearted involvement of all the group members. Wholehearted, otherwise it won't be successful. A successful one. Then direct day-to-day affairs of the agency and its members. That is what Trucker says. Trucker means Peter Trucker, who formulated, the theory of management by objectives, MBO. It's a very expert management and expert, and he has formulated many theories. Peter Trucker. Then here, a sample program is here, and how the leader identifies the need of the group and what skill to develop. These are all explained, and you must learn it. Yes, now it is a model. Then recording in social group work, because there may be accountability. There must be accountability. For that, everything should be recorded. Group work. In social group work, everything should be recorded. As there is uh, most, you know, there, there must be accountability. Uh, Social work educators, students, and professionals focus on developing their written communication skills for a range of reasons. These include writing, a core mode of communication in many fields of social work. That is writing skills. Then writing skills are like all professional skills can be learned. Then written communication can represent a complex matters. Communication. So then social workers' approach to writing should reflect the distinctive character of their professional purpose. And now we pass on to principles of recording in social group work. What should be recording in social principles? There are some principles of recording. For what? To make better quality of service to the members. In social work, service. is most important. What service they can give? That's the question. They are imperative study, research and experimentation. So principle of flexibility. There must be flexibility. That means group work practice and agency purpose are inseparably involved. So there will be a group, and the problems might have been identified. They need what when this group work practice and agency purpose are inseparable because the agency is help. The agency purpose is agency's help. Otherwise, the group work may not succeed. So we have seen earlier, the agency help is very much necessary. Then, then principle of selection. Principle of selection. That is, worker does not include everything in his record, but selects significant material in the light of individual and group development. He should not select everything for record, but a selective uh, a selection must be done, which is to be included. Then readability. The clarity of expression is essential for all written material. Principle of worker acceptance. That is, the worker must accept his responsibility because his conviction that records have value in rendering high quality portion service. Because the record has a high value. That's why it is said so. The types of recording in social group. Types of recording. Because recording has several purposes as follows. Which are the agency requirements for recording? Then training and skill development, planning, for direct use in work with members. These are the recording. Thus, recording in group work is based on contents, process, content and process. Content and process. Content recording means numerical information on registration, enrollment, attendance of individuals and groups. That is content. Then program reports, depending on types of activity the group is involved in. That is program reports. Process recording. Chronological narrative write-up of this group work process as it develops. And the social workers used to do it. That is when they do it. Interaction and participation is most interaction and participation is not very much necessary. Yes. Then there should be a chronological order in recording all these things. Why they are recording? It's for effective job with the groups. Because it should be recorded. It is an effective tool also. Yes. Then contents in group work report. Contents, individual behavior, nature and degree of members. These are all the contents. Social and progress of progress of suggestions, initiatives. Then the worker's role with the minute details of what he exactly does in executing his responsibilities. The record must contain all these things: workers' thoughts, development, transformation, and evolution observed in members. Then tips on recording. There are some tips for recording which are there. Organize a concise, thematic sketch prior to putting things in writings as facilitates in arranging the information. Organize a concise, meaning small. Then clear cut language, it should be in clear cut language recording. Yes, clear cut language must be there. Then these are all tips. The dating of entries are also very much important because it shows continuity. Yes, these are all unit 3. Now we pass on to unit 4. Unit 4 and 5 are there. We can finish it. Unit 4 and 5. 5 units are there in block 4. So that uh, 32. Sorry, 31. MSW32 will be over. You read the book many times. Read and read because very very good book, having very good knowledge of the issues. That is knowledge of the subject. And so once you read it, simple reading is not necessary. Read, so that you will be thorough with the subject. When you write your exam, it will be easy. When you write the assignment, you may be knowing what are the contents. Very easy. Now, group work in institutional settings. For example, there may be some institutions where the social work is necessary. Those examples are child welfare, geriatric care, then psychiatric setting, work in hospitals, etc. In all these areas, yes, we can see uh, each one of them. That is hospitals, child welfare institutions, and so on. Group work is used. And when they do it in, you know, these institutions, there are some limitations also. What are they? You can see it. So, so according to Kirby, the major areas in which group work performs in an institutional setting are as follows. That is social work group in small groups, clients, and patients. Then these are the major areas group work performs. Working with other staff members, then sharing with other staff members, and also sharing with the other staff members of the group's own observation. Then analyzing the need for and recommending the formation of various kinds of groups. Then assuming responsibility as a professional group worker. That knowing the maintaining the limits and standards. Then group work and child welfare is one of such areas. Child welfare, hospitals, and so many institutions are there which need what the social group work. Yes, yes. The function of child welfare. What is the utmost aim? Potential incidents of maltreatment is there. Supervising children deemed at risk of ongoing abuse, neglect. Why? So, hence, group work in child welfare is very much necessary. There are so many issues and challenges which the children face. Then, governmental ministries and developments departments look after the child welfare in India. Then, NGOs and religious organizations. So the group workers learn the children's problems in different situations. The main objectives are training them in alternate behavioral patterns. The treatment for symptoms related to anxiety. These are all issues which the children face. Then group work in juvenile homes. So juvenile homes are there, and the work of the social workers are the work there is very effective because the, with the integration with the involvement and work. So the concept of reforming a juvenile, a small kid, is very great. So they are facing such situations, child labor, then then street that is begging in the street, and they may commit crimes. So on. The first category of children are produced before Child Welfare Committee (CWC). It determines what is the best course of action. They decide in juvenile homes. Then, then it will be handed over to NGO, run first with institution. Then, uh, either way, these institutions will then look after the child till the he is an adult and fend for himself. So, group work, juvenile homes are so much important. So, these are of so much importance because they are to be changed within people. So this organization should not be in a bureaucratic nature. The purpose of doing group work in juvenile delinquency seeks to facilitate adjustment in the center. Purpose of doing group work in juvenile, that I have told you, to change a small kid or a children who committed crimes and put in juvenile homes. So at that time, it seeks to facilitate adjustment in the center, then training, sorry, diagnostic understanding. It needs further, then sought to contribute the beginning of the treatment process. Then feedback. Normal growth needs. Why such institutional work is, or what, or institutional work for, why such institutional works are necessary in juvenile homes, or how it helps the children in the juvenile. These are all discussed. Why it is necessary. Then there is influence, it seeks to influence the institutional milieu, means feedback. Example is set shown here. Examples are shown here. Then street children are there. Group work means social group work. Social work in with the street children. So it is a pity in India that street children are there. Somehow they become, the word should not be used street children, because they are innocent children. They are not responsible for their being done, or why, how they are in uh, such a streets are not because of what they have done. It is the fault of the system, the society, the group. Group means parent, community. Yes. Uh, the important element is organizing an annual camp so that they can be collected. And 3 days location away from the city. There must be so many sessions in the camp, and different subjects are there, questions are there. Most unreachable section, people are reached there. Then, then there is group work with the parents of mentally challenged children, because mentally challenged children, the case of mentally challenged children, parents play a vital role. Their patience, their patience is to be appreciated. Some people, when this mentally challenged, when they understood that the child is mentally challenged, the parents are at first met by the social workers. How to change them to face the issues of their children? That is most important. So, so many techniques are out there. Hence, parents are very much important as far as yes, group work. So, in the case of mentally challenged, the parents of mentally challenged children are of most important because uh, they need more, more and more support from the social workers. Then group work and geriatric care. These old people, when they are so it's a state of affairs in India that these old age homes are very less. These old people they suffer in the streets also. We used to see in newspapers and in media that old people who are poor, even if they have money, you know, the their children may not be taking proper care also. So in India, the Supreme Court has declared a very notable, very important, and a milestone uh, verdict regarding these old people is that some years back, what children must take care of their parents, and if the parents are not well treated by their children, the court can arrest, issue arrest warrants. So, what's the procedure is if this simple example, if there is as per that case or as per that verdict of Supreme Court, you know, if a parent is not properly cared, the parent alone or both of them are alone, they can send an email showing the difficulty and the attitude of their children to the police station. And in police, that thing is considered a most important because once they are informed, they will rush to the home, to that home, they will understand what is there. And if the parent gives a statement, the children, if they are not there, they will be asked to be present, and at that time, the children will uh, have to follow up what the police instruct. So that, and it is a pity also to take care of the parents. The children are what instructed, directed by the police and the courts. So it is a very sad state of affairs. So many ailments will be there in the case of um, you know parents. Yes, that is a geriatric care. They may feel loneliness, isolation, then resistant to counseling and so on. Then short attention span, medication-induced problems, poor reality orientation, poor attendance at group sessions. These are all some of the characteristics of old age people. That is geriatric. Then now support groups are there. Support groups are arranged by the workers. Some voluntarily uh, willing, that is voluntary, the word mean. Voluntary groups are there in supporting the old people. The social work group of persons must have a link with them to help. Then recreational group. How these elderly people spend their time. Usually and generally, they'll be they will face a lot of difficulty in passing the time because they may have some disease or they may have some issues, and so hence they'll not be able to you know freely move. So these recreational groups are very much necessary. Because that is recreational groups are very much necessary as far as the people are concerned. Then therapeutic groups. Therapeutic group means there may be mentally as well as physically weak. There may be weak persons. At that time, these therapeutic groups, the group workers who have worked with the elderly found that much of the information about the elderly were wrong and based on false assumptions. Some of the assumptions include inability or the elderly to change for the better. That is first the inability of the elderly to change for the better. So they are in a situation where they won't change easily, even if a strong support from the social workers. They won't change. So, because they will be like a stereotype. They are living in a particular situation. Then group work in psychiatric setting, geriatric, any psychiatric persons having mental issues, physically, mentally challenged persons, mental illness, substance abuse or alcoholism will be there. Then several mental, then major characteristics you can say. So multiple problems they will be facing. Severe mental illness. They are unable to perform daily tasks as they are old, and also they may be having some issues. And they are mentally challenged. Sorry, mentally challenged persons. Then there is increased responsibility. Responsibility is mental challenged persons, and they make them responsible to feel and exert some control over one's future. To feel and exert some control over the future. Then these mentally challenged persons, they are in a deteriorated condition. They will be in a deteriorated state of mind, from which the social workers have to uplift them and recognize even some characteristics. Darwin suggests principles. Group sessions with the mentally challenged persons. That is one. The training, then each group share rewarding ones. They should be rewarded. Otherwise, whenever there is no reward, there will not be one sided. That will be one sided. Patience will come. Yes. Game, play, music, craft, etc. are done by, etc. are to be done to whom mentally challenged. Sense of accomplishment the group worker has to create. Then mentally challenged. So uh, when they are giving, when the social workers attend their issues, or when they are taken for a training or something, very very careful attention must be there, because they are abnormal people. There may be mood swings and so on. They may be violent even. Then there is mental health setting, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. That means the person will be doing something, and it's a neurotic disorder. They'll be repeating what they have been doing or they have done. Then there is group work in hospitals. Hospitals are most important in social work, where it is needed, because so many types of people are having disease will visit a hospital, psychological, physical, or related. Then another important factor is multidisciplinary teams which will address the various dimensions. Multidisciplinary teams. And lastly, group work is cheap and effective disseminating information to the class. And effective disseminating information. Disseminating means spreading information to the clients. It's very much necessary. Disseminating information to the clients. Yes. Now, types of groups that are used in the hospitals. Educational groups. Yes, educational groups disseminate information about the disease and its effect on the patients. That's in hospitals, they will educate people. That is their function. Then support groups. They need support groups, social workers. Then training groups. And practice principles, health settings. Yes, thirdly, individualization of clients. Thus, we finish the fourth unit. Pass on to the fifth unit, that is the last unit. Role of social worker in group work is most important because there is no social worker. If there is no social worker, the issues will not be settled. Hence, his role and implication are very important. Then, at first, the concept is described. Then, group is these are all the points discussed. Role. You must understand in a very well manner his role. There are so many definitions. His role. So he must have some social, status. And, that worker as a result of social working. And therefore, a role is very much important, which determine our behavior according to what is expected. Roles of roles of a social worker working with the groups has different roles because a social broker, that is connecting client system with the community resources based on broad knowledge of community resources and operating procedures of the agencies. That is social broker. Then enabler role. The roles of social worker are discussed here as a social broker, as an enabler. Enable means to help to something, that is enabling them. Help. Then the role of after enabler, there is the role of teacher. That is he should be a very good teacher because those who do not understand has to be apprised everything. Then a mediator is he acts as the role of mediator also. There may be some uh, there may be exit conflict. There may be conflicts, and as a mediator, the social worker's role is very much important. Then advocate, because he is an advocate of the client, he should speak for the client. Then group work as a leader of the group. Group worker is a leader, real leader in everything. Otherwise, he is a lead, he is lacking leadership, you know, he can't do anything because leadership must be there for a social worker is concerned as far as a social worker is. So otherwise, leadership qualities are not there. If they are not there, they won't be getting, you know, well in this job as a social worker. Then he has to act. Worker acts as an influence person. That is also the role is a role of a social worker. Roles. Yes, as a teacher, he has a definite role. As a leader, also he has a definite role. Then role differentiation practice affecting roles of group worker. That is here. Uh, Different groups. He has to work with the different groups, and each group may have a different situation, circumstance, surrounding, and it is the duty of the social worker to understand the circumstance and surrounding. Yes, that is the role differentiation. That is in different. That is they operate the situations. Different situations are there. Hence, to understand each group is a must. Very important as far as the social worker is concerned. So different factors affect different factors. And there are then purpose of the group and roles of the great group worker. Uh, Different groups will be there and group experience. Members are of anxious to retain and the content of the group experience. There, the purpose is the dynamic force. Purpose is the dynamic force that can be mobilized into different groups. That is, the groups will be formed on purpose based. That is what is explained here. Then enhancement of the relationship, that is you must have a very good relationship. Otherwise, that won't work well. Very good relationship means the social worker with an aim to bring his goal must behave in a manner to, to keep very good relationship. Then dealing with the problems of social functioning. So social functioning is very much necessary. Is then enhancing social competence. That is preventive in future. That is enhancing social competence. Because you must be competent enough to face any situation. So this enhancing social competence is important as far as the social workers are necessary. Referral, negotiation, procurement, needed resources, services, mediation, all these things are necessary. Then coping with the stress. So, due to life transition, life threatening illness, divorce, physical violence, rape, etc. are there. And coping with the stress created out of these factors. Because the group members, they need support. If only he is capable of all these characteristics, the support can be extended to them. Then empowerment. Democratic, empowering, and participatory approaches are inherent in the ethos. So the worker, the group work being a part of the broader social work philosophy, helping people to help themselves. So that's saying, helping me to help you. That's the quotation. Types of groups and roles of a group. Involuntary groups are there. Then open-ended groups. Involuntary groups work involuntarily. Challenging and confirmation, repetition, and real test. They are not doing open-ended groups means that is the existing members to accept new members and help members review group's purpose. Open-ended groups pose another challenge. Then support groups, then task groups. A specific task will be there.
Sir,
And hello,
sir, பின்னாடி sound heavy கேக்குது.
you are not able to hear.
Noise is interface, sir. Sound.
The time is in.
Music sound.
Pardon? What are you
Back,
saying?
background music.
Yeah. Music is very difficult. It is election. People are there near about my home, and they are not leaving. So what can I do? Let us.
Okay, sir, you can continue.
Yes. Yes. Then the last one is stages of group development, and there are so many stages: uh, middle, beginning, middle, end stage. The termination. This 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 unit is finished, and with this I finish the MS 31. And tomorrow we can deal with MS 32, and you have to send me your roll numbers. Otherwise, how can I have to collect it? I can collect it from the center, but in the next class I will collect it. Today it is not possible. Okay. Uh, Thank you. With this I finish because here it is very difficult to
Thank you, sir.